fashion or design?
Oh, there wasn't really a particular instance that I got started with fashion. I suppose it's with streetwear. It's been a part of my life. It's been something I've been wary of ever since I can remember. I suppose I'm fairly new to fashion design since I only learned to sew when I only learned to sew 2 years ago when I wanted to do this huge school project. And as for designing, I've only gotten started with that 2 years ago as well.
And how would you define your personal style? Do you feel like it's reflected in the work you produce?
Well, I guess in a nutshell, my personal style would be sophisticated punk. Because for me, there's two different styles, like the clothes that I design and the clothes I'd wear, the clothes I design for others to wear. And the other one is stuff I design for the runway, and the stuff I design for the runway or things to be featured in shows tend to be more artistic and more outgoing than my usual day-to-day style.
And what was your inspiration for the pieces you created for the show?
Well, it's a funny story actually, because part of my inspiration came from a video I saw on how to wear a long scarf as a vest. And I thought that looked really neat, so I remember that. But for most part, my inspiration actually came from a dream I had. So in the dream, I was shopping looking for a dress. I asked someone to help me out, and they handed me a dress saying, "This one's really cheap," and it was $14 to be exact. So I took a closer look at it, and I realized that it was actually a scarf. So I was thinking of some concepts I can do for the Wearable Art Show. I just remembered that dream and thought about how many scarves I've had that I don't wear anymore, and how sometimes scarves can go out of fashion really fast, especially printed scarves. So I thought about doing something that's eco and something reusable. Like I went thrifting for scarves rather than buying high-end ones.
What tips would you give anybody who's looking to get started in fashion or design?
Well, recently a friend of mine asked me to give some tips to a student who was 1 or 2 years younger than me, who's also looking to be in the fashion program at Ryerson. I guess the most helpful advice I gave to her was to do and design what she liked rather than trying to please someone else. Because for me, the most important thing is I know that I'm not a trend chaser, and I really do respect friends who say that they wear what they think is nice regardless if it's trendy or not. So I'd say to aspiring designers to know what they want to say, know how they're going to say it, and not because for some designs that aren't conventional, that aren't out of the cookie cutter, they might receive criticism, but I say that a designer needs to have their own personality, their own style, rather than trying to conform to what they think others are expecting of them.
And you're put into a Freaky Friday situation where you can switch lives with anybody for a day. Who would it be and why?
I'd actually want to switch lives with Donatella Versace because, first of all, her style tends to be really edgy, and that's something along the line of what I want my own personal style to be as well. So I thought that switching lives with her would be a good experience to be more exposed to that kind of stuff.
And where can readers find out more about you and your work?
Well, I don't have a website or an established fashion blog yet, but I'm thinking of getting started as a model or a wardrobe stylist on Model Mayhem, so hopefully I'd be doing that on the side pretty soon.